Hello.
Hey, you look
Good
cute.
morning. So do you.
Oh yeah, it's morning there. I was like, wait a minute, it's 1 o'clock.
It actually feels like really morning here because I've been waking up with my son at 4:30 in the morning and getting him all ready for work, making breakfast,
Okay.
making sure he has lunch, and then I go back to bed.
Is
after
he still
leaves.
doing the crop dusting planes for fires? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They spray like fertilizer and stuff on fields.
Yeah. Did you look
Yeah.
in to make sure they weren't using whatever type of plane it is that still uses diesel?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Not
And his are
diesel.
good.
That's not what I meant.
They're
Leaded.
good.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. My biggest concern right now is getting him to wear sunscreen. He's out in the
Yeah.
sun all day and he's like baked.
Super fair skin
Skin
too.
cancer is a real thing.
Yes. No, we for twirling for Bella, she was just at twirling this last week because
Yeah, it looks like she made out like a bandit.
oh yeah, she freaking rocked it because she bust her ball. She worked so hard. She deserves it. But they wanted her tan just because certain costumes do look better. And they were like, and I'm like, that's fine, but
Okay.
we're super fair. So we just did the rub on tan.
Perfect.
And it works just fine because I'm like, we're pretty fair. So, and that's what they use anyways. I think most people who need to have like a tan consistently are rubbing it on now. So yeah. Use sunscreen. Granted, I know that's not why he's doing it. I'm just thinking about my motivation as like I want to be more tan or whatever. But
right.
Yeah, wear and don't just remind him to wear just sunscreen, but chapstick that has sunscreen in it, because like people forget about their lips, and especially men will forget to apply like anything to protect their lips, so they're at higher risk for like sun damage and
all the things that way
and stuff like that. Yeah. So
all the places you'd never expect it to be.
Yeah. So make sure he wears that.
Okay.
Anyways, so how was this past week?
It was good. We my sister-in-law got married. That was pretty cool. Yeah. It's good and bad. We had some good things, some bad things.
Oh really?
Yeah. Just mostly about last weekend when my daughter and I were shopping. And yeah.
But you should just tell that story, because really I think it leads into what we were going to talk about today in a way.
Yeah.
So tell the story of what happened to you and Aubrey.
So my daughter and I went shopping for a dress for her to wear to this wedding that we went to. And as we got out of the car, I noticed this guy in front of us, but I didn't really think anything of him. I was just like, just some guy, And as we're walking into the store, a lady pulled up behind us and she said, "Hey, that guy over there's taking pictures of you guys and your car." And I was like, that's super weird. And she's like,
very unnerving.
And she said he just followed her underage daughter around the store we were at and was taking pictures of her as well.
Okay.
So anyway, so we called the police. It's not a crime to take a picture of not underage people. So we couldn't do much, but the fact that he was following the girl around the store and taking pictures of her got him in big trouble. So they found him.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, like, I don't know, like the way that I'm constantly on guard when I'm out and about and doing things, like, I hate that we have to, but it's incidents like that where it's like, you have to like, and be watching out for other people too. Because while that's very minimal because nothing happened, that's because you guys took steps to stop anything from happening. Because you don't know when someone's going to take it a step farther, and he's already doing something that's feels very intrusive and like, scary, honestly.
The weird thing is, if it was just me, be like, oh, what an asshole, and flip him off or something,
Yeah,
but when it comes to your own kids,
like
it involves your kids, it fires you right up. Like,
and honestly, we put ourselves out there in public to a certain extent, and like understand that, especially because we like enjoying how we look, and there's nothing wrong with feeling sexy. So if somebody's like noticing it, obviously don't be a douche and just like be a creep and follow around, take pictures or something, because that's still pretty gross. But once it comes to like kids and everything like that, you've
it's And there's like, I came home and complained to my husband about it, and he's like, yeah, what a douchebag. But the thing that I don't think men really get is how it makes women feel afterwards. Like, we kind of just brushed it off and we're like, gosh, the guy's an asshole. But that night, my daughter was trying to go to sleep, and she goes, Mom, I feel scared for some reason.
Yes,
She's like,
like
I
a
don't
feeling
know
of
what it is. It's
dread.
an uneasy feeling. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, would you just sit with me while I go to sleep? Because I just keep thinking of, why did he take pictures of our car? What was he doing with our license plate? Why did he need to know?
That
You know?
feeling of dread, I think, follows anybody who's ever had any type of encounter like that. And it's a feeling like, because I never had my own room and never wanted my own room for those reasons. Because of the feeling I dread I had when I was alone, because things that had happened when I was alone.
Yeah.
So,
And I will specify that it's not all, I mean, obviously not all men. Most men are awesome.
Well, and that's
I happen
actually,
to love men.
That's
really enjoy them.
Like, in trying to decide what we were going to talk about today, that's kind of like
Yeah.
where I mostly wanted to go with it, was to find ways to talk about how we know it's not all men, and how so many men are great, and like how we need to build up the things about men that really make a man manly, really, because that's really important to a lot of people. I know it's really important to Anthony that he, like, not in like a macho, but just like that he still, it's important to him. And I don't think
they can
that
keep
that's
their
a
man
bad
card.
thing. Exactly. And that there really is, there always has been, like, what it is considered to be manly or whatever. And it depends on, I guess, whose gaze you're looking through. For a long time, we only looked through the gaze of a white male's, like, what is that they would find attractive and want. And now it's kind of like, how about look through our
whole
gaze, because there is a something that is very manly. There are things that are very attractive about a lot of things like that. And one of the biggest things is when they have our backs against other men, in like this, especially like when I've seen men on TikTok or things like that, really like taking a stance and having like just a real good substantial, I don't know, story or something, but where they are like fighting for like women's rights in the whole, I'm like automatically kind of attracted to them. Not like, you know what I mean? Just like that person's awesome. Like, I just, I'm interested in you.
And
they
don't have to
care. Yeah.
They don't have to put down their manhood at all. I mean, we're not looking for guys to denounce manhood or anything.
No.
We're just looking to say like, hey, this is our concern. And people say, oh, wait, that's a valid concern.
Like, wait a minute. These are things that we're worried about all the time. So if you could worry about them with us, just worry alongside us. And then when you see men acting in a way that that you can now see that would make someone like really uncomfortable, call them out. The person who should be made to feel uncomfortable in that situation is the person making them uncomfortable. So it should be that everybody, men and women, are able to say, hey, dude, you're crossing a line, you're being disgusting, or this is not cool. But when it's just that women are like, oh no, please don't, and call the cop, versus like there was like just some other men there in that parking lot who were like, you think this is okay? You think this is acceptable? You're obviously doing this because you feel safe doing it. But if they stop feeling safe doing it, then we can feel safer existing,
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. And that's kind of the little article I read about. They said, hey, ladies, what would you do if men had a 9 o'clock curfew?
I was just starting to read this because she had sent it to me.
And there were just so many answers, like, I'd go on a walk at night, I'd go running at night, I'd go dancing with my friends and not worry about getting groped, I'd go out and get a drink and leave it on the counter when I went to the bathroom and not worry about getting drugged. And I thought about even me and you. Like, do you remember in college, every time we go to the car, we'd check the back seat and we'd check the trunk, and you'd like have a key between your fingers just in case you had to punch somebody. I could punch anybody. Like,
in the original thing you sent me, I'm gonna find it here. I feel like they kind of the sum up of how like women feel as it was really good. So I'm gonna find it real quick and read it, if you don't mind.
Go for it. While you're looking, I will just say that my personal one is, if my husband wasn't home and it was just me by myself, I would sleep with my bedroom door open if there wasn't like by bedroom door, I mean the one leading outside. Because I love the feeling of like fresh air and like almost like you're camping, but you're still in your bed.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I would love to do that, but there's no way in hell I would do that
When he's
if I
not
didn't have
there.
my husband right next to me. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I to interrupt myself from finding this, me and Bella being away in South Carolina, like I've been away on business trips and things like that, like outside of like Anthony's just kind of
Protective
sleeping with
view.
me. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like I hate how much like I am nervous when he's not there. Like, and it's not like he's like some like, oh, I'm gonna come, you know, whatever. Like he's strong and I know he would fight for me. I know, you know what I mean? There's no questions
Yeah.
about that. But it's just it's just having him there that for whatever reason
Mhm.
gives me like the ability to just fully relax. Because when we were in South Carolina, like I was such a lighter sleeper. It was like I couldn't get my body to fully fall asleep to the point that like Bella took pictures of me asleep in the audience with my mouth like gaping open.
Well,
Yeah.
you had to sleep
So
somewhere and there were people
I
there.
know. Yeah. And then after we got back,
Oh.
I spent like 24 hours sleeping because it's like, ugh. And I don't like it was an exhausting thing because it was a lot of up and down. But I think the biggest thing was the fact that I couldn't get a good night's sleep because I was in mama dog mode
Protector
or
mode.
something, protective mode, because I didn't have like my protector. And I'm like, it's so great to have him, but also the fact that that's instilled in me, that fear, and it has to be instilled in me because there is a certain level of risk involved in me just existing, because there are men who feel comfortable and are capable of doing things that most men would never even like
Dream of doing.
dream of doing. Exactly. But they exist. And while there
There's
are
horrible people
like
out
there
there.
are crazy women or other guys who attack other guys too, I don't think it's to the extent of like the amount that women are just targeted or attacked.
I
Or
don't think guys are walking to their cars with keys in between their fingers and checking their trunks for the crazy woman.
yeah. It's like,
Maybe they are. If you are, I'm sorry.
I know. Well, and if you are, I mean, you understand. So you also want people to be looking out for everybody and not, I don't know, I guess just understanding the plight exists. And it's not just that somebody's an asshole, it's that somebody is like taking away your sense of like just being able to live with peace. Yeah, just peace. Really, seriously. Okay, now I think I found it. So things that we've always been told as girls and women to do. It's like, don't go out late at night, don't dress in short clothes, don't walk down deserted roads, don't go into dark corners, keep your keys in your hand, look over your shoulder if you think someone is following you, call someone instantly, know where the exit points are at all time. And then it says, no, these are not rules for entry into some prison. If you're a woman, you probably have been taught all of these as a child. And it's 100% true. And whether it was taught to us by like our parents or just society, it was taught to us that it was just a reality we had to basically accept, and we needed to accept the responsibility to make sure that they don't come get us, instead of everybody being like, whoa, we got some fucking psychos, maybe we should all like pump the brakes, look a little more around us, and like hold people accountable for all of their actions in our own lives, instead of just allowing this to continue in this way,
including semi-douchey behavior. I mean, we're not just, I don't know.
Yeah,
no guy wakes up and decides he's going to be a douche today. Like so you got to stop it before it gets to that point. And that's the hard thing. Because
can you share the other story from this week then? Because that's like a semi-douchey, and you don't have to give any names or anything.
Are you talking about the one where my friend was telling me about her boss?
Yeah.
So I have a friend that came over one afternoon, and she was just telling me really lightheartedly that her boss thought I was hot. I'm like, I have never met your boss before. Like, I wouldn't know him if I passed him on the street.
Yeah.
She's like,
but that had to feel a little good. You know, there's nothing wrong.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, it's a compliment. Great.
And
then she starts laughing, and I'm trying to think of what exactly she said. She said that he said that I would be hotter if I was in his bed. Or
so he just crossed a line that
lines.
made you feel like
you don't even know me. Like,
but I mean, but also it wasn't even just that to me. Like, that is an inappropriate thing, I think, to say. because just knowing you, and like, but he was also talking to his, like, he was a superior talking to an employee,
Female employee. Yeah.
exactly, talking about just one of her friends who he'd want. I'd be interested to know his like his marital status and things like that, but you probably don't even know, right? Because you don't know this
married.
man. Exactly.
I think he's
and
married,
it's like I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with having that thought, because I don't think you can always control, like, being like, you're attracted to that.
You're gonna have an opinion on people. Yeah,
exactly, and that's fine.
And it's not like he was making comments directly to me about my body, you know, like.
But I'm imagining being the employee, just being like a little uncomfortable, like knowing you're married, being like, especially if she knows like his wife and is like, is she cool with this? Like, I feel like this is a situation that, like, I, as a married woman, would, if my husband were in a situation with his younger coworker who he was a manager over and was making like sexual references, like talking about her, I don't know, it just feels like it's crossing some, like,
there's a line there, and it feels like,
and I'm like, and their relationship might be different, that might be totally fine, but
it definitely crossed into icky territory.
I feel, it's just kind of like, I don't know, I guess guys need guys, and they need to be able to be guys in that way. And like, I don't know, sometimes like a crude comment or whatever, like, they don't know, I'm not like offended, but then there's situations like that one where I felt the same way you did, and I think it was just because there was like, he doesn't actually know you, it was unfamiliar, you felt a little bit like, I don't know why that is, or why it makes you feel that way, because if you were in like the public eye, like say just some rando sees you on this YouTube video and is like, check out her tits, I'd like that, you know what I mean, you feel nothing, you know what I mean? So if it never came to you, like, it didn't hurt you, you know what I mean? But the biggest thing, other than it made you feel a little
there's a little but
yeah, well, and compounding on the guy taking pictures of like you and Aubrey and stuff, that just made you feel uneasy. Like, did you have some sort of, like, were you scouting for whatever you were going to eventually do to us, you know what I mean? Like now I have to live in fear because you exist.
Yeah, and you're whatever. Okay, there's something you said a long time ago that's like, it was on a totally different subject, but you're like, whatever my brain is coming up with is 10 times worse than the actual reality. Like, it's just where my brain goes.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, this guy is from out of state and he's taking pictures of our license plate, and what the crap is he doing, and who is he involved with? And, you know, are my pictures being sold somewhere, or am I going to be followed? I don't know. It's probably just some idiot taking pictures for his own benefit, but your brain, like, creates all these scenarios where it's just a million times worse than probably actually.
I think and the biggest part on that one, which is why the cops did get involved, is the fact that it was underage girls. And I saw this thing, and I may have said it to you, I don't know, but do you remember when you were younger getting catcalled?
Occasionally,
but I remember it too, occasionally.
Do
you really remember as an adult getting catcalled?
Yeah.
As much so? See, because I feel like for me it was
it's different.
As a girl, like I remember just walking down streets, and I don't think they actually saw me. I was just a little kid, but it was just like, I remember
getting it as a little kid.
I remember getting chased off of a freeway in New Jersey. I called Anthony because it was freaking me out, and I'm sure these guys had no idea how bad they scared me, but they were making, like, I was just driving on the freeway, driving home, and it was 4 dudes in a car, and they were like honking and trying to get my attention or whatever, and that's, you know, whatever, fine. But then they started making like really crude gestures, and like one was flipping me off, so it was like angry, but also like, just, I'm not gonna do them, but like, it just made me feel really uncomfortable, and I ended up taking a different exit, and like felt like I had to basically run from them, and then I lost them or whatever, because I was able to just get off really quick off of a freeway because there were a lot of people, and I'm a good little zoomer. But I was on the phone with Anthony, like, I was never alone, and I was like, and they were probably just messing with me, but oh my God, they ruined my month. They ruined my, you know what I mean? Driving on the freeway.
You think about it every time you get on the freeway.
You think about it. Because in my head, I went the next step. I'm like, if I don't get away from them, like, Anthony's not with me right now. Yes, like, I'm calling him or whatever, but he's not with me. Like, if I don't get away from them on my own, you know, you can go all the directions your mind's gonna go. And they probably were just dicking around or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, just maybe don't be dicks. Maybe teach, don't be dicks. I don't
For
know.
real. Like, do you remember the story I told you a few podcasts ago about when the guy I had accidentally cut someone off, like a group of 3 guys in a truck, and they followed me all the way across town. And
Yes.
like to them, they were probably just, harassing me to
They were, but even still,
make a
like that,
point or
it's
something.
crazy that it happens and that we have these stories on a like
Yeah,
this is real. Like
if I hadn't have gotten to Cody though, what the heck would have happened? I don't know. My brain goes a million different places. They probably would have just yelled at me and driven off.
If you don't remember that one though, Cody full on ran out of the office, dove into these guys' cars, and was like, they dragged him down the road with, and he walked back just fine, and they never showed up again. So obviously,
yep. He's my hero. And when I tell that story, he's like, that wasn't much. I mean, it was just a little thing. But to me, it's like, oh, my hero. Like,
yeah, because they took away your like sense of peace and control in that moment. Like if they got to you before you got to him, like until you can understand that feeling of what was the word I said earlier? Because dread. Mm-hmm. I feel like that word really like gets it. It's this like sinking, and you can't make it go away.
A little desperation, a little like despair, just
and then when something else happens, it's like right back there, you know what I mean? Like your body remembers that feeling a little too well, and it goes there a little too quick, and then
your trauma responses solidify a little more.
Yes. And have you ever had the type where it's like I'll literally feel my chest and my heart hurt, like it's like a tightening where it's like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna like die of a heart attack from just I'm like,
it's from just fear.
Yes. And I'm like, I don't like that.
I don't
live most of my life in fear. I've lived very free, but I just have enough of these memories and experiences just from being a girl. And then hearing other people's stories, like I know firsthand of a girl who was drugged and raped by multiple people, and like it's not some far off story that I heard of like I know her, she like very well,
and that has a lasting impact, and that fear
and they were
live with forever.
I think it was spring break. Her friends didn't like her drink got roofied or something, because she just all of a sudden wasn't feeling good. So her friends, they took her up to her hotel room. They had a hotel room, and they just put her to bed, but she was locked in a hotel room. You know what I mean? It was just like, okay, she went to bed. But the people who did it to her obviously had an inside at the hotel, because they broke into the hotel. I think it was 4 of them, did their thing with her and beat the shit out of her and then robbed them. And then, and so she like,
that's horrible.
It's like that you hear these things in like far off stories, but really I know so many people with stories of people, and I actually know someone, and I have, you know what I mean? And it's like, how many of these do we need to exist before everybody says a collective, oh shit, that fucking sucks. Like, that sucks. If I was like that all the time, I'd be pissed off too. Yeah, we have a reason to be pissed off. Like, we don't want to feel like this anymore. Help us.
Yeah, please.
So I think we were supposed to be talking about ways we can build men up.
Well, you have to understand the fear before you can understand where we're coming from.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there is nothing sexier than a guy who stands up for a girl, for real. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so attractive.
In like a real way too, not like it's apparent when it's meaningful, or when it's like from a real place, when you're like a real ally, you know? You know when it, you know what I mean? So
you don't have to, like I said, you don't have to hand in your man card. You don't have to be like, men suck, women are awesome. But, but just to stand up for people who can't defend themselves like you can, or they, I don't know.
No, there's a lot of things where I think we need men's help. I'm actually, so I've been talking to a few different people, and we've been like on the same page with a lot of things. And so we were talking about going to like some women's rallies together, or like, just stuff like that, women's rights rallies. And I kind of have been thinking on my own that I've never seen anything that I wanted to be a part of. So I think I'm just going to do my own thing. And it's going to be just the like, with just like Roe v. Wade and all this stuff that's going on right now, just asking for men to like help us, pretty much. Like that's the only, like, no negative signs, no negative things, but just like the points that should matter. Like, I could be your sister, I could be your daughter, your mother, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm a real human being who is worried about her bodily autonomy and is worried about the fact that she and her daughters and her friends and her like have these inherent like fears and reactions, because like basically there are predatorial men who somehow still feel comfortable enough to exist. It's just like how we as like white people, we are all kind of responsible for the racist in the white community, as long as until we're all saying like, no, like we are not on your side. You know what I mean? We need to, if we see someone acting up in a racist way, we need to be the ones to be like, fucking knock it off, you're disgusting, you know, and call them out, and don't put it on the person being attacked to have to be the only one to defend themselves. That's the same thing we're asking for. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely does.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But I don't know when or where I'm gonna do it, but I'm like, I don't know.
It's an idea that's in the early
the
stages.
Because I do feel like men feel so attacked, and like I know I have the greatest guy. Like Anthony's such, and not to say he doesn't have his shit. Everybody does, but like when it comes to who he is as a person, I know he genuinely cares about people, all people, and I see that he understands like the plight of women and has like seen different aspects, because also being a dad to 3 girls who are growing up, and you know that obviously is giving him different perspectives and stuff like that. But I have a lot of like friends that are dudes that I consider to be very good guys, so I feel like most of the guys I run into, even if they have like some counter views, like somehow they're still all like good dudes, you know what I mean? Like they're so it's like I think most of them are good, and if they could just feel less attacked and understand that we're more asking for like just help pretty much.
And we don't, as women, we don't like the feeling of men being attacked either, because that's not where we're going with it. Like
no
we're taking the focus off of what we're actually looking for here. We're not trying to bash anybody.
Looking for exactly.
Anyways. Men are freaking awesome, and there's a reason we feel safer when the good ones are around.
Yes.
Like
where's my phone now? Sorry. Oh, here it is.
Sorry. Like seriously, as far as like sometimes I get hang on. Sometimes I get super anxious at night just for no reason at all. And all I have to do is like reach over and just touch my husband on the arm or know he's there, and I can like almost immediately go to sleep. It's the most crazy thing. But I don't know where is it going with that, but
that's all right.
I love the feeling of having a guy around, and I love that feeling of masculinity, and I love, you know, the strength and everything that comes with that. And I love that he is learning that sometimes girls get scared. Like he is the least scared person in the world, and he would probably disagree with that. But
no, I think that's true, and it's a luxury he has because of his size and stature and gender, and that's awesome.
So it's a new experience to feel like when I come and I'm like, hey, some guy was taking pictures of me, and it kind of freaked me out a little bit. And he's like, so why didn't you just stand up to him and talk to him and like tell him that wasn't okay? First of all, because I didn't know he was doing it till after he left. But watching him understand that it freaks women out, and that it, you know,
it's not so easy to just go up to them, because then you don't know how they're going to respond to that. Like sometimes women have been killed for literally just turning a guy down. So if a guy's already taking pictures of you and, you know, crossing that line to like, I don't know, like you're an object, you don't have any, I don't know, like, cause he doesn't know you.
No. And it crosses the line between like flirtation and anger so fast in some guys. Like it's scary. It's super scary.
And it sucks because it's like there's always a story, like every day. Like today I just saw, and I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, whatever, but something about a family who was on vacation, who like at a national park or something, and a guy like veered off the road, tried to hit them. I guess he had been in a relationship
Really?
before. Yeah, been in a relationship with the sister before or something
Oh,
like that. So it was a love thing where he was mentally ill or whatever. But he didn't hit them. He got out of the car and with a shotgun and ended up shooting like
sheesh.
yeah, and killing an 18-month-old and her father, and then
Mm.
stabbing the girl he used to be with, and then she ended up being able to kill him because she fought back. So by the time they got there, but either
Sheesh.
way, she did. So she's in critical condition though. Who knows if she'll make it? And the two kids are with
Man.
grandparents. I know, but it's like there's always these stories, and it's like, how many more times does it have to be a school shooting or this or that? And it's they always say it's just mental illness, and we're not talking about gun control, but obviously I think we should talk about that because I don't, we got to keep talking about it until we figure something out because this isn't working.
Yeah.
But like they always go to the mental health thing, and I'm like, while that's true, you also need to look at, like, really focus on the fact that it's all men who are doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I thought you meant
what can
all
we
men.
do
Like
about this? No,
that
like
it's the men that
men,
are.
it's the men that are doing this. You, like, obviously we can't see through their minds. What is it that they're thinking? What's going on? Why? Like, how can we help men to have a better outlet that is not to, you know what I mean? To realize that there's
Yeah.
whatever it is that they're feeling in that moment, they feel like life's going to end if, I guess, if they don't get this girl or if they don't get this whatever, and they don't know how to deal with their emotions. So they just flip. Like, we need to,
Snap.
yeah,
Yeah.
let men in on the secret that is like understanding and controlling your emotions, because then you can like progress and move forward instead of just snapping at shit. And that's just a really, it's an uncomfortable way for everybody to live when you have to worry about like that,
Absolutely. Yeah. And
Yeah.
in a woman's mind, you can, there's horrible breakups, but you can just walk away and you can heal and you can grow, and to have that be the outcome or a possible outcome is terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I'm sure there are instances where women have gone and done the same thing, but you have to like
Yeah.
search for those instances where the other instances just fucking smack you in the face on a daily basis, where it's like even though I feel secure and safe in the man that I'm with, I just know that there are men that I don't feel secure and safe around, and I don't know who they are and who they aren't. And I hate that feeling of insecurity. Just fucking sucks. Like when we were in South Carolina, I saw this, I think it was a TikTok or something for an ad. I'll have to send it to you, but it's for a little like door stopper that you put in front of the door that not only does it stop the door, but it sets up an alarm.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta
Nice.
save this. I gotta get this for the next time I have to be away from Anthony, because I was realizing like how it was affecting my sleep, and that I was like needing to sleep in this different like state almost. And I'm like, while I appreciate that Anthony can quell that for me, I really fucking hate that that's like my state,
A
and
necessity.
it shouldn't be a necessity. And
Yeah.
and it is, and I deal with it, but also please help us. Like, collectively, can we start doing something instead of just tearing each other down or feeling like somebody's attacking somebody?
Yeah. Without. Yeah. Anyway, the sheer amount of TikToks alone that show you how to keep your hotel door secure.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen all of those?
No.
I don't know if I just made it part of my algorithm, but there's like ways upon ways upon ways of like, oh, somebody tried to get in my hotel room this way, and this is
Oh,
how I now combat that, and this is
yeah.
how
See,
somebody.
and because
Yeah.
my person was in a hotel room when she was attacked, that it makes me even more just like, okay, like, you never know.
Yeah.
What we did this past week was we were putting a door in, like, we locked it obviously, but we put a door in, like, not a door, sorry, a chair in front of it. Yeah.
We were in a hotel room this weekend, and I made sure all of the safety latches were where they should be, and
Mm-hmm.
even though my whole family was in there, my husband was with me, I'm
Yeah,
still.
I know. No, Anthony. I'm laughing because like we live in a gated community, and like
Yeah.
I'm just such a locker. I lock all the things because I'm like, if somebody's coming in this house, by the time they get in here, I know that they have ill intent because I have done everything in
Yeah.
my power to stop them. So like we did a beyond the concealed carry course back when we
Yeah.
used to have guns, and they were like, there's a very important question, like you have to like ask yourself now or something like that. And it's like, you have to decide like whether or not you would pull the trigger, because like, and everybody's like, yeah, you're right. Like that's a who would you or would you? And I was the only one that was like, I absolutely know that I would. And it was because I know that I am always taking every fucking step I can to protect myself, because that's the way my brain feels secure. I have to do that so that I can feel safe. So I was just like, oh no, if they've got to that point in my home, they have ill intent. Like they've had to work
this
hard.
This is not just grandma coming in and leaving the keys on the counter.
Nobody's going to accidentally walk in, because you're going to go through multiple locked doors to get there. That's just, anyways, I kind of sidetracked myself, but I was asking Anthony one night, because I'm always going through a double check-in, and I was like, oh, did you lock the garage door? And he goes, Rachel, the neighborhood is locked. And I was like, yeah, but you got to lock the garage door too. Like understand. It's just like, I get that you can just say, yeah, the neighborhood's locked, and it's true and it's funny, but also until that's locked, my brain is not gonna forget that that's unlocked, because it's going to be like at the ready to protect myself pretty much.
And that's something that's just,
I hate it,
unfortunately passed down from female to female, because my daughter like will text me and she's like, did you lock the door? She went to Ireland a few weeks ago, and she texted me and be like, did you lock all the doors? Like yes, I did. No worries. Like, that's cute. It's just, but it's sad that she has to do that.
Yeah.
At the same time, but she is very concerned for our safety. She'll wake up and check on all the kids too.
The first one is normally the second mommy, I think, or at least that's how it is for us too. Like she's very much, there's cool like that. Yeah. Anyways.
But on a side note that has nothing to do with anything, when you check on your kids at night, that's when you get the coolest like talking in your sleep stories, because they wake up just a little bit.
I don't have too many of those. I wish.
I have one daughter. If you step foot in her room, she will sit up like in bed, like she was raised from the dead, and just start like talking. Like,
please start taking videos.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah,
because it scares the living crap out of me every time. Like,
make her a little montage of herself. Don't even tell her. Just do it like periodically. Go through and then share it with me, because that is gonna be freaking hilarious.
And you can tell she's my daughter, because the first words are usually like, I wasn't asleep. I wasn't asleep. Like, it's me.
Yeah.
Little me. I was never asleep.
Never. Anyways. All right. Any other thoughts on this topic?
No, just to sum up, guys who help women are attractive. Hope they don't feel attacked. We're just wanting to feel safe. The end.
Pretty much. Yeah. Like, and I enjoy men very much. So
too.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I would love a day if I could walk around at night by myself, or
without any underlying feeling of dread. That would be great.
And I think we have come a long way. It's not perfect, but we have come a long way, and hopefully we'll continue to make leaps and bounds.
Hopefully. I'm sure
I was watching, sorry, I don't mean to start another tangent but I was watching some 80s television while I was doing my makeup, and the way that women or men were talking to actual women, it was a dating show or something, and the way they were describing these women and the way they were talking about them, I'm like, man, we've come a long way. Because like these guys would go on dates with these girls, and they'd like, it was like Love Connection or something, they picked between 3 girls who to go on a date with. And guys would be like, well, in her video she looked like she had bigger boobs, so I was mad and I just didn't talk to her the whole time. And I was like, that would not fly down. Like, what the crap?
That's funny.
But yeah, there was a lot of that,
please.
So I will have to. Love Connection videos from the 80s, they were fabulous. Okay.
All right, well,
on that note,
I love you. And Lilas.
I love you as well. Lilas, you're always awesome to talk to. And I'm tell Bella congratulations on her awesome wins.
Thanks, I will. Okay, talk to you later.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Subscribe up there.
Subscribe.
There's a subscribe up there.
Okay.
Like the button.
Okay.